Hey everyone, this is Athletes and Antiquities. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the idea of can we outlive Pokemon and what is its possible lifespan going forward. So this video was actually recommended by a viewer named Ramon. I believe it's called Ramon. I believe your name is Ramon. He asked, what if we stopped making Pokemon cards? I thought that was a really interesting topic. Like, what if they stopped making Pokemon cards tomorrow? So I'm going to talk about that and also just like the idea of Pokemon going forward, what it might look like in 5, 10, whatever, however many years. Obviously, all of this is speculation. As Scott Pratt would say, he has 2 balls, none of them are crystal. This is all just guesses. This is just from my experience and from me collecting other TCGs, what happens when a TCG stops making cards. So I'm going to show you some I collect a lot of dead TCGs and just very niche items from other hobbies that I'm going to show off and talk about today. So Pokemon right now is the largest IP of any media franchise. It's the largest media franchise in the world. It's bigger than Star Wars, than Halo. Hello Kitty, I think, is number 2 somehow. It's bigger than Mario, Zelda, all these massive. It's bigger than Marvel, bigger than like DC, all these major companies. So right now, it has a lot going for it. Like it's not like Pokemon can die tomorrow. Like, we know that. If Pokemon stops printing cards literally tomorrow, the hobby will not die tomorrow. It's got too much inertia. It has too many fans already invested in it that it won't really matter. So I'm gonna show you some TCGs that I collect that are no longer around. This is a card from 1938 from a set called Horrors of War. It may not be politically correct now. They definitely wouldn't make cards like this today, but they literally made cards in 1938. It's pre-World War II, about wars going on in around the world, and cards depicted like certain battles. This is about Japanese attacking the Soviets before the Soviets entered World War II and all of that. So this is about a specific battle and just kind of depicts this combat. This Horrors of War company hasn't been around since the 30s. Yet there's still strong demand for it. These are very niche items, don't get me wrong, this isn't like rivaling Pokemon, but it's still there are strong sales for it. There are sales every day for raw cards, for graded cards, and this card was like $25. They're not very expensive, but there is still a market. And this like, no one currently alive was collecting these cards. They were infants at the oldest when these were being made. Another card, N31 Allen Ginter. This card is from 1888. This card set has not really existed since once the 1900s hit. They didn't really make a lot of these like non-sports types of like cards. It's just random people, literally just world's dudes, random people around the world. There's, like, you can see here, there's different types of professions, different countries. You can have a boxer, a skater, a fisherman, just a Russian, just like a typical Russian person, like seaside. I don't even know what that means. Is that a scene? Who knows? Very random niche card, but these still sell. Every day there's sales for these old Allen and Ginter cards. Another one, Star Wars. Star Wars cards. Star Wars is obviously alive and well, but recently with the recent mainline movies, there's been a lot of criticism with Star Wars. It doesn't have the same like energy as the prequels and the original trilogy did. The shows that have come out have been very good. I really enjoyed Andor and other shows like that, but like episodes 7, 8, and 9 got a lot of criticism. Yet people still collect. Like, people didn't stop collecting the original trilogy cards. This is from, I think, 1977. People didn't stop buying these cards because the new movies were bad. People just said, yeah, the new movies were bad, but I still love the old movies. I still want to own the Darth Vader rookie card. And another one, Halo. This is a very unique card. I haven't showed this off on the channel yet. Actually might make its own video on it. This is a 1-of-1 sketch card. This is a Halo card from 2007 when Halo 3 was released. They made a card set to go along with it. And in each, I think it was a 1 per hobby box, or 1 in every few hobby boxes, was a 1-of-1 sketched card. So this is, I'm not going to take it out because I don't want to damage it. This was drawn on this card. You can see, if you look closely, you can see the pencil marks imprinted in the card. It wasn't just printed on. The artist, who's a very, very well-known artist, I forget what the initials stand for, but he's a very well-known artist. He's made lots of posters for the franchise. He physically sketched this on a blank Halo card and colored it himself. It's very unique. It's a 1-of-1, one-of-a-kind piece of Halo art. But Halo was king of the world with Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3. Halo Reach came out. Everyone loved Halo Reach. And then, I think it was Bungie, or was it 343? The older company got bought out by the newer company. And now it's just under the umbrella of Microsoft, but I think they're made by, it's either 343 or Bungie. I'm pretty sure Bungie made the old ones, then 343 or something, or another company's made the new ones, but the new ones have not been doing well. Despite them not doing well, the attention and the desire for old Halo memorabilia has not died down. Just because Halo 5 has not been great doesn't mean people don't like Halo 3 anymore. Maybe there's less new fans because usually there's less people appreciated the new games, so there's less new fans, but the old fans haven't left. And that's the main point I have with if Pokemon died. What if Pokemon stopped printing cards tomorrow? Would it affect future fans? Yes. There's kids that are 5 years old right now that might never get into Pokemon because it's never on the shelves. They never got to experience it as a child. So there's none of that emotional connection to it. However, you and I, if you're watching this video, you're deep in the hobby. You didn't just stumble upon this off of like a PokeRev video. You're probably very invested in the hobby. You and me alike are not going to leave the hobby just because a modern cards stop being made. I buy very few modern cards anyway. I primarily collect EX era. I only very rarely buy modern cards when there's a promo that comes out that I really like. A very good card comes out that I just am drawn to. Like I think I'm gonna buy a good amount of V-Star Universe when it comes out. But other than that, I don't buy very much modern at all. This is just my personal opinion, my personal situation. So people like me, I'm still gonna be using my collecting goals. I still want to collect all of the EX era holos in 8s and 9s. That's still gonna be my goal. People older than me are still gonna be collecting WotC. If people want to complete their goal of collecting, buying, or getting every WotC card, that's still gonna be a thing. People that are in the hobby currently are still going to stay, or at least a good amount will. Some people may leave, obviously, but when Pokemon really goes down the tubes, I think Gary said there's 20 years left before we have to start worrying, because those kids that were 10 that were playing Pokemon since they were 5 years old, they're still probably they might still be interested in for a few years after. People like me, if nothing else gets made, I'm still gonna enjoy the past games. I'll still replay Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Platinum, Emerald. I'm still gonna enjoy buying those old cards. So the secondary market can still be alive. The primary market of going to Walmart, that could be dead, but the secondary market can keep it alive. Just like the secondary market has kept alive this card this card set hasn't been a thing since 2007. Or Star Wars cards. There are now Star Wars cards, but for a while there were no more Star Wars cards. There was a good few years where there was nothing. Now there's a brand new hype kind of wave behind it. But for a while, people still collected the 1977 cards with no prospect of future releases. People still collect Allen and Ginter. There are new Allen and Ginter cards, but it's not nearly the same. It doesn't have the same history, the same nostalgia. So people still buy this new Allen and Ginter stuff. They don't care if Allen and Ginter keeps on getting made. They don't care about that. Same thing with the Horrors of War. I kind of hope they don't make any more Horrors of War cards because it's of awful periods of history and it's depicting very dark themes of like death of real people, not just like a fictitious universe. I hope they don't make any more Horrors of War, but I still appreciate Horrors of War for its history, and I collect it even though the primary market is non-existent, and it's been non-existent for decades. The secondary market kind of props it up. So what do you think about that? Do you think the secondary market can keep vintage Pokemon, or what's currently out there now, alive for years beyond what actual Nintendo prints? I think if Nintendo stops printing in 2025, I think there will be a strong secondary market for Pokemon until at least 2035 or 2040. There's all those years of current collectors that still want to complete their goals or still have a desire for that card. When I'm 50 years old in 25 or whatever years, and I see, if like no one cares about Pokemon, if I see Gold Star Rayquaza selling for $10, I'm gonna buy a ton of them because I will still have that desire for them. 25 years later, I will still be buying Gold Star Rayquaza. That's one of my grails, one of my dreams to obtain in the hobby. People like me will still keep that alive. So what do you think? Where do you stand on that? If V-Star Universe and Crown Zenith are the last sets ever made, how will that affect how you view the hobby? How will that affect your buying habits and how you think you'll be involved with the hobby going forward? I'd love to hear what you have to say, but yeah, let me know. Thanks, bye.